Now it is time to shape our pizza dough. When we mixed all of our pizza dough ingredients together, we saw that it came right here in our container. And after about 3 sets of stretch and folds, we let it bulk rise, and now it is doubled in size and is at the point where we're going to shape it. Now when I make this recipe of pizza dough, I love to cut this into 3 equal parts because I feel like that's enough dough to make a pizza maybe about 10 inches in diameter, which is, or 11. I like it a little bit thinner than normal. I don't like a really thick crust when I make pizza. And this is enough to feed a family of 1 pizza is probably good for 2 people. And whenever I have my daughter, all 3 of us eat, we usually make 2 of them. And then we'll have some leftovers and we can reheat them in the air fryer the next day. So our dough is ready, so I'm going to get it out of the container. And this, again, like I said, is a lot stickier than the normal bread. So I'm gonna help it come out. And there is a little bit still stuck, so I'll just kind of scrape it with my finger. Not too much was left in there, so it pretty much comes out clean. All right, so I just eyeball this to kind of break it into 3 parts. But let me put some flour on it because like you just saw, it is super sticky. And that's the hardest to deal with, is really sticky dough. So I like to put some on there, get some on my hands, my gloves, and put it into 3 pieces. Now, the easiest way to do 3 pieces is to kind of put it in a long rectangle and just kind of cut it that way. And then you can adjust it a little bit after you shape the dough in 3 balls. You can just see. And we do the same thing that we do whenever we're shaping our bread for the first time. The first shaping, we just try to get into a somewhat of a rectangle. What am I saying? A rectangle. Super sticky. And one side over, the other side over, and then roll it up. And I love to use this bench scraper when it's sticky. It helps me so much whenever I'm shaping a sticky loaf. And that looks like it's ready. The next one. Top over. And super sticky. And whenever you are shaping these, this is a little bit different from a bread recipe because we're not going to need to develop the structure of the bread as much, because whenever we're making pizza dough, we're just going to flatten it out and roll it as thin as we can, actually, so that we can have it ready for our toppings. So you don't need to shape it, let it bench rest, and then shape it again. You just shape it one time, and that's it. I've been reading a little bit about when you freeze it. It says that you don't want to freeze it longer than about 2 months. I did attempt that one time, and I think I found a frozen pizza dough crust in there from a while, and it just didn't taste as good in the freezer for quite some time. So the best is not to freeze it at all, but if you have to, you can. All right, so I have my 3 separate pieces, and they are close enough in size. So then I have parchment paper that's ready to go, and all I do is just pick up pizza dough, and I bring the sides in, and I just wrap it up. I like to wrap it up a hamburger, and ready for the next one. Now, if you wanted to make pizza the same day that you made your dough, that is perfectly fine. I just think it tastes better that next day after it's cold proofed. So, totally up to you. You would go right into rolling this out and stretching it flat. And the good thing about it, if you got one of these mats, that's where you can roll it out and you can see the diameter and size, and then you can learn the thickness that you like after you do this a couple times do that with the guide. And I think the ones that I make, they could probably roll out to be like 11, maybe even 12 inches in diameter with a third of this pizza dough recipe. But that's it, and the last thing I do is I put all 3 pieces in a gallon size Ziploc bag. And this is a freezer one, just in case I decide I freeze it if we don't use it. And that's how you shape your pizza dough recipe.